Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan. This is my life in Taiwan, and in today's video we are mixing it up a little bit as I'm going to be giving you my top 10 things made in Taiwan that I simply couldn't live without. The first of which is going to be this, my trusty Merida R902 2010 model, 12 years old. Now in today's video we're going to be using this bike to travel around, maybe vlog style a little bit, and show you some of the most important things in my life that are made here in Taiwan. So without further ado, time to get on this trusty steed and head off for the next of the things that I cannot live without here in Taiwan. 要一个cheese bacon cheese蛋饼。好，谢谢。好，谢谢。 Okay, so as you may have guessed, some of the top 10 things I cannot live without here in Taiwan are going to be the foods, and of course, probably one of the most famous foods in Taiwan is Taiwanese breakfast in general. But if I had to choose one Taiwanese breakfast food to show you, it would be the standard cheese, bacon, dumpling, the foreigners' staple food here in Taiwan. Absolutely imperative to add some nice, thick, sticky soy sauce. If we can get the rest out of that bottle. May have gone a little bit overboard on the soy sauce there, but in my opinion, can never have too much soy sauce. I know you're all going to shout at me in the comments for having too much salt, but this is absolutely delicious. Look at the cheese and bacon filling dripping out of there. Ooh, yeah. And of course, the perfect Taiwanese breakfast drink accompaniment, a nice big tall cup of ice cold dojang. Oh my god. To any foreigners watching that have never had dojang soybean milk, ice cold, freshly prepared, it's an absolute revelation, an absolute must try with the Taiwanese breakfast. 10 out of 10 for breakfast. And before we get to the third thing that I can't live without, I'm going to invite you in the comment section to comment down below with the things that you think you cannot live without compared to the things that me as a foreigner cannot live without here in Taiwan. Do you think there's some similar things? Do you think there's going to be lots of differences? Whatever you think you cannot live without here in Taiwan, comment down below, and make sure you watch to the end of the video to see if you agree or disagree with the 10 things that I've chosen. But anyway, breakfast done, on to the next thing I can't live without here in Taiwan. And for that third thing I cannot live without here in Taiwan, I've come for my monthly haircut. As you can see, I'm getting a bit shaggy on top, and here in Taiwan, haircuts for men at least are 100 NT, $3 US, and I feel like this is something that you can only get in Taiwan. In the UK, the minimum price you're going to pay for a haircut nowadays is about £10, 400 NT, and ever since I've been in Taiwan, the price for a simple haircut has been 100 NT. I've been here before with Kit, so I'll use some of the footage from that, but the sheer price, value and convenience, the speed at which they cut the hair here is simply unparalleled. So 100 NT, and literally 10 minutes later, looking much sharper, much more presentable for the rest of today's video, all thanks to my 100 NT haircut. And as you've probably noticed, I am starting to sweat just a little bit, so there's only one solution I can think of for being too hot in Taiwan, and that's going to be a bubble milk tea from my favorite store, Allan. The first bubble milk tea I ever had in Taiwan, March 20th, 2008. Was also from Allan. Tiandu, Zhentang, Binghuai, Zhentang, super sweet, super icy, and super refreshing on a hot day like today. And strictly speaking, bubble milk tea is available in other countries. It's not something you have to have in Taiwan, but come on, it's the national drink, probably one of the most famous exports to come out of Taiwan. So drinking it here in Taiwan is an absolute must, and something that I almost certainly couldn't live with. We're not going to drink it here next to the side of the road. We're going to get on the bike and go to another location where I'm going to talk about something a little more important that we simply couldn't live with here in Taiwan. But yes, from one rather simple, maybe more frivolous and fun thing that Taiwan should be so proud of, to another, perhaps more serious thing that Taiwan is incredibly proud of, and that's its freedom and democracy. Hence the reason I've decided to film this little bit outside Taichung City Government Hall or whatever it's called. And yes, democracy is something that I and many millions of other people here in Taiwan simply couldn't live without. If I and everybody living here were to be living under a communist authoritarian regime, there is almost no way we could live the lives that we live today. People are free to say whatever they want about the government. They can protest, they can practice whatever religion they're into, and if they happen to have a YouTube channel, they're free to criticize the government wherever they feel necessary. Therefore, I simply had to include Taiwan's democracy in this video about things that I couldn't live without here in Taiwan, because although of course democracy wasn't invented in Taiwan, Taiwanese democracy was started by the people here, and it's something that we are all able to enjoy and live happily. I'm gonna cry now. Why the hell am I gonna cry? We're all able to enjoy it because of the struggles that people have been through in the past. I think I talked about that before in my video on Green Island. So yeah, thanks to everybody in the past and the present that has kept Taiwan democratic and free for people like me to come and enjoy and make silly little videos sharing my life here without fear of any persecution. 你卖什么？
这个手工饼干，手卷对200
200可以啊。
200的，好啊。
好，
谢谢你哦。
好，谢谢，拜拜。
拜拜。
Something I certainly could live without in Taiwan and in any country is paying taxes. But as we all know, only two things in life are certain: death and taxes. So I've got to quickly go in, fill out my self-employed tax form, and then we'll be on to number 5.
A few moments later.
A few moments later indeed, and I'm a few thousand NT lighter. Taxes paid, thanks to Taiwan for having reasonable taxes. But yeah, maybe in the comment section, have a guess down below. How much do you think I paid in tax for the year 2021? Be interesting to know your different opinions. But yeah, nobody likes it, but gotta be done. Wow, cycling around Taichung City in summer is not advisable. But anyway, yes, the next thing I'm going to talk about that I couldn't live without in Taiwan is related to healthcare. And I really wanted to mention the national health insurance and how that's looked after me over the past 14 years. And also how it saved William's life when he was born and he had a really serious case of Huangdan, England, jaundice. Yes, when William had a serious case of jaundice, Taiwan's national healthcare stepped up, saved the day, and saved his life, basically. So that's definitely something that I couldn't live without. If I had to pay for private healthcare, my whole lifestyle would be completely different. But there's one thing that goes against that, that contradicts that, and that's the doctor that I'm seeing today. And the reason that I'm not showing the location is because it's not the kind of doctor you might have been expecting. It's a psychologist or a 心理医生 that I've been seeing for the past couple of years, and as such I didn't want to share the location in case there's people there, other patients that don't want to be filmed. But this is something that I couldn't live without. The relationship I've built up with my therapist over the past couple of years is incredibly close. It's a really strange feeling, and I certainly would miss that if it was to go away. But Taiwan's national health insurance, as far as I know, doesn't pay for psychologists or mental health care. I'm sure it does if you have a clinical psychological condition, schizophrenia or maybe bipolar, that kind of thing. Maybe that's different. But for somebody like me that just has a lot of pressure and stress from their daily life, that wants to go and talk to someone about it, I think the only route is to go private, and it costs me a lot of money. Pretty much the same amount that I spend on rent every month, I spend on mental health care. So yeah, that's something that I couldn't live without, but definitely something that I wish was included as part of national health insurance, because I'm sure there's lots of people in Taiwan under lots of pressure and stress in their jobs that aren't as fortunate as me, that can't afford to pay somebody to talk about it with. So if there's one thing I'd like to change about Taiwan, it's that. But anyway, time for me to get inside, have my hour-long chat, which is all it is, just a chat about my life and how to deal with certain pressures that my job, life, loneliness present me with. But I'm not going to overshare that too much on this, what is supposed to be a nice, fun video.
1 hour later.
So a nice successful visit to the therapist back there in South District, but we're back on the bike and now we're heading a little more central, a bit more towards West District for the next location, where I'm going to tell you all about the next thing that makes my life in Taiwan so easy and something I and many people couldn't live without. I'm going to introduce this bad boy, my iPhone. Strictly speaking, Apple is not a Taiwanese company, but the company that builds these iPhones, Foxconn, is Taiwanese, and the most important part of the phone, the processor, is made by a Taiwanese manufacturer. But yeah, technology in general is something I could not live without here in Taiwan, and it's made my life so much more bearable, whether that's watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, or of course keeping in touch with my son William, who I'll come on to later. If I'd had to do all of this without technology, without an iPhone, then I don't think I would have lasted in Taiwan. It's a little bit sad to say, but I'm so dependent on this little bad boy. And as a matter of fact, another reason that I've come to Nova is I need to pick up an extra battery for my camera as I'm going on a bit of a trip to Xiaoliuqiu tomorrow. So I thought I'd bring you with me and we'll pick up a camera battery. Probably another thing I couldn't live without is my camera and my lens. I'm pretty sure the camera and lens are made in Taiwan. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, let's get into Nova, buy this battery, and then we're going to get to that food that I promised you. Let's go.
你是 YouTuber 啊？
对，我只现在拍影片。
好像在 Air。
对，没错。我很喜欢你的口罩。
好，我自己在自己。
哦，真的？
我自己剪可以。
哇，很好看哎。你好，我要点刺800D 的点刺。
哦，电池跟我
电池。
大学也没有。
哎呦。
先问看看他们。
好 ，OK， 谢谢。对。对。
对。它这个价格的话是1000块。
哇，靠，可以刷卡吗？可以。
现金吗？
现金800可以吗？
不行。
哦 ，OK。
对。
哎呦。
打开看看吗？
不用，相信。好，谢谢，拜拜。收到了，谢谢。Battery picked up. 1000块 for a second market battery, a little bit expensive. But yeah, anyway, battery in hand, let's go get some food. And one of the foods that I can't live without here in Taiwan is foreign food. Yes, I know people love to watch me eating Taiwanese food and reacting to that, but as a foreigner in Taiwan, foreign Western food is so important for grounding us and reminding us of the food that is available all around the world. So for this video, I've come to the Uptowner for Taco Tuesday. Anybody that doesn't know what is a taco, you are missing out. You must come and try, but it's an absolute staple every Tuesday. Taco Tuesdays cannot be missed. Absolutely delicious, and if you want to see me eating Taiwanese food, I've got hundreds of other videos on that topic, but yeah, I think it's time for me to go take a walk in the park. One other thing that I certainly couldn't live without here in Taiwan is the abundance of parks. Yes, of course, there are parks in my home country of the UK and other countries all around the world, but the sheer convenience and safety, let's not forget that all-important Taiwanese safety that we have here in Taiwan, where I can walk around the park with a relatively expensive camera, leave my bike unlocked at the bike station, is something that not many countries can afford us. And while I'm here, I of course want to talk about something very important that was made in Taiwan, but that's William. William was of course made in Taiwan, born in Taiwan, spent the first 4 years of his life here, and I certainly couldn't imagine my life now without him existing in the world. Crying again, oh my goodness, but I really wanted to include that. The most important made in Taiwan MIT thing in my life is my son William. And also, while I'm on the subject of people that are important to me, my Taiwanese friends are incredibly important to me. Without them, I wouldn't have much of a social life that linked me to Taiwan. Most of my other friends, of course, are foreigners. But yeah, I'm not actually planning to meet any of my Taiwanese friends today, but tomorrow, as I mentioned, I'm going to Xiaoliuqiu with them. So here's a little clip from Xiaoliuqiu.
Beer first. Nothing changed.
Cheers. But now I think it's time to introduce a guest to this video, and possibly one of the most important things that I love about my life in Taiwan, and that's Taiwan beer. Cheers. And to wrap this video up, I've invited good friend and fellow beer drinker Prozzie.
Hello.
To ask him what is the one thing that he could not live without in Taiwan.
Funny you ask, Allan. I couldn't live without the Allan and Prozzie podcast, which we film not unlike this in a setting around the city that in a
It's really eloquent, right?
we talk good on it.
We talk proper good.
Yeah.
So yeah, as this video has been a little bit more personal, a bit more vlog style, if you enjoy this kind of thing, you're definitely going to enjoy the Allan and Prozzie podcast. So go check out links in the description below. This video is getting a little bit too long now, so I'm going to wrap it up nice and quickly. One more cheers for Prozzie.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
As for now, as always, see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Cheers.